Ooh, ladies and gentlemen, my friend, you ain't seen nothing. Just wait till I get through, cause I am bad, folks. I'm nervous, because allegations of bodies buried also at Epstein's New Mexico ranch are prompting investigation calls. What are you saying? Are you saying that he might have been killing people? Wait a minute. Are you saying, now guys, this might be an out there thought, that Epstein might have been a bad person? I've heard things, and I don't know if anybody else has. I'm starting to think, with the evidence I'm compiling, he might have been, and I don't want to slander anybody's name because he's dead, he's not here to defend himself, but I'm starting to think, guys, that this guy might be a pedophile.
Millions of pages of documents related to Jeffrey Epstein, providing more information on the convicted sex offender's crimes. Among the files, claims bodies are buried near Epstein's Zorro Ranch in Santa Fe County. Tonight, the state land commissioner demanding an investigation.
I'm going to keep asking questions and keep poking around until I get an answer.
Those coming from an anonymous email in 2019 addressed to a local radio host.
Aaliyah Chavez spoke with him and has the details of that email.
Yeah, Doug, Shelley, we're also hearing tonight from the Attorney General's office, who says it takes these allegations seriously but needs more information to do something about it. Eddie Aragon says it was early in the morning in November 2019 when he got this email from someone claiming they were a former staffer at Zorro Ranch. Writing, "Did you know somewhere in the hills outside of the Zorro, 2 foreign girls were buried on orders of Jeffrey and Madam G.
Madam
Both died
G?
by strangulation during rough fetish sex."
I got the email. I was startled.
The emailer says they had 7 sex videos, including some with minors, but never actually
Whoa.
sent the footage, asking Aragon for digital currency Bitcoin.
Approximately at that time, Bitcoin was worth about $8,000. They wanted in exchange 1 Bitcoin for the videos that they had in possession.
Aragon
What?
says he didn't know what to do with the email, so he sent it to the FBI.
I've since referred to the FBI on a number of other things, and I've never heard back from them on any things.
Fast forward.
Listen, I'm gonna say it. If there are bodies buried on this property, I wouldn't be surprised if you're not just gonna find minors. I think it's gonna be not only a field of them. It's gonna be like the movie Holes. Has anybody seen Holes with Shia LaBeouf? And who is the little black boy? I'm not trying to racialize this. I'm just trying to actually. His name is Z or something like that. It's not me being racist. It's the movie. I'm sorry. And Sigourney Weaver's in it. She's really good. But whatever. Ooh, John Voight's also in it. He's also just really good in it. I'm trying to fucking remember where I was going with this. Yes, holes. It's like gonna be like the scene in the desert where it's thousands of holes and then they're just filling it with bodies of children. It's probably gonna be two or more per grave, honestly. That's what I'm expecting. This might be the same Zorro Ranch that he was claiming he wanted to seed the population. He was obsessed with the idea of getting 1,000 sperm of himself out there into the world to populate. He wanted to be a Genghis Khan type figure from what I'm aware of it, where he was like, how a lot of, like, I can't remember the exact statistic because my memory on the population of the East Asian world is not solid right now, but I remember like somewhat over a couple million, maybe even a billion people, not a couple billion, but maybe a billion people are genetically tied to him because of how many women he raped throughout his conquering of fucking East Asia. So what I'm trying to say here is that this seemed to be his type of a plan where he was like, I'm going to take, because I'm so awesome, I'm going to take myself and put me in a bunch of women and then send said babies out into the world. That bizarre plan.
6 years
I don't know.
later, the DOJ...
Do you think we're going to get a list of people where it's like, okay, guys, so here's another bombshell. The Trump administration is going to come out and they're going to go, hey, guys, so if you adopted a child between the years of 1993 and 2019, your child may be genetically related to Jeffrey Epstein. And everyone is going to start looking at their kids and they're going to go, they're starting to go gray early, and we're going to all start seeing it a little bit in our adopted children. Between 1993 and 2019 is a long-ass time, and you know what I mean? That who's to say that he's not the only billionaire that has one of these sorts of operations? Let's be real. Maybe 90% of people from that were like in the adoption system, 90% in Nebraska have to be related to Leslie Wexner. That's my theory.
released Aragon's email as part of the Epstein files.
Matters. I think that New Mexicans need answers. I think the victims need answers.
That's what prompted New Mexico Public Lands Commissioner Stephanie Garcia Richard to send this letter to the Attorney General and the U.S. Attorney's Office Tuesday, asking them to thoroughly investigate this disturbing allegation regarding the referenced burials.
They have to comb the dirt, comb the desert.
In Mexico.
She says she was horrified to learn in 2019 that our state was still leasing lands around Zorro Ranch to Epstein's company.
I canceled the leases at that time.
A month after Epstein killed himself in jail, the land around the mansion totals around 1,200 acres and hasn't been leased out since.
We're thinking to possibly
I imagine it's a hard sell. That's my assumption.
turn it into a memorial to honor the victims, or as some kind of wildlife sanctuary, perhaps. That's what we're thinking for that land.
I'll turn it into a big Airbnb. You hand me the rights. I'll turn it into like some resort. You know what I mean? Honestly, it's like why are we like shitting on the idea of reusing good land? Honestly, that's exactly why I'm like, leave the lady who bought Little St. James alone. And if she wants to sit there in a bathrobe and stare at the people out on boats taking pictures of her island, she has the right. It's her private property. Leave her alone, honestly. And then anyways, Khanna, he's revealing 6 powerful men that are likely incriminated by their ties to Jeffrey Epstein. I'm curious exactly what he has to say about that. Go.
Mr. Speaker, yesterday, Congressman Massey and I went to the Department of Justice to read the unredacted Epstein files. We spent about 2 hours there, and we learned that 70 to 80% of the files are still redacted. In fact, there were 6 wealthy, powerful men that the DOJ hid for no apparent reason. When Congressman Massey and I pointed this out to the Department of Justice, they acknowledged their mistake, and now they have revealed the identity of these 6 powerful men. These men are Salvatore Navora, Zorab Mikoladze, Leopig Leonor, Nicola Caputa, Sultan Ahmed bin Sulayem, CEO of Dubai Ports World, and billionaire businessman Leslie Wexner, who was labeled as a co-conspirator by the FBI.
Now, this gentleman that he mentioned, Sultan Ahmed bin Sulayem, this gentleman, he's an interesting businessman, but he is specifically referenced in the files having emailed Epstein. Epstein told, actually, him that he loved the torture video, in his words. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Middle East, that feels like the prime zone if you want to be making murder content. Like murder porn, that feels like the murder porn capital of the world. Because honestly, they do murder, they do honor killings, they do things like that. It's embedded in their culture already to treat women as like a second-class object. And if you don't like that, if you don't like that I said that, it's true that the Islamic and Arabic world unfortunately has this practice of treating women as less than second-class citizens. Cats and birds have more rights than these women do. Cats, for example, can go... I love how Meryl Streep worded it. She's a great actress. She's kind of an idiot with her, like, philosophy overall, but I love the way she worded this, where she said, a bird can freely sing out in the Middle East right now, but a girl can't. A girl cannot feel the sun on her face the way that a cat can when it lays on the porch. If you are not a fan of the idea that their culture is inherently oppressive towards women in ways that are horrific and result in the murders of them, I don't know what else to tell you except for it's just facts, that it's a sick culture. It's sick. It's disgusting. And I have nothing positive to say about the way that they treat women. It's not. That's it. There's no joke at the end of that statement. It's just true. I'm sorry.
Why did it take Thomas Massey and me going to the Justice Department to get these 6 men's identities to become public? And if we found 6 men that they were hiding in 2 hours, imagine how many men they are covering up for in those 3 million files. But the story gets worse.
How?
The reality is that Donald Trump's FBI scrubbed these files in March.
What?
Long before Thomas Massey and I passed the Epstein Transparency Act. Now, my bill is clear. The Epstein Transparency Act requires them to unredact those FBI files. And yet the Justice Department said to me and to Congressman Massey, We just uploaded whatever the FBI sent us. And guess what? The FBI sent scrubbed files.
Oof.
That means the survivor's statement to the FBI, naming rich and powerful men who went to Epstein's island, who went to his ranch, who went to his home, and raped and abused underage girls.
I'm not trying to make jokes, but I kind of have to because it's a joke show. You know what I mean? We like to have fun, but this is obviously like he's talking serious shit. I'm sorry.
All underage girls being paraded, they're all hidden. They're all redacted. It's a little bit of a farce. They're inviting all the members of Congress to go to see the Department of Justice, quote-unquote, unredacted files, but they've got all redacted files from the FBI. And it's not the fault of the Justice Department attorneys. They were just told upload things that Donald Trump's FBI had already scrubbed. It's a blatant violation of the Epstein Transparency Act.
Khanna.
But it also asks a fundamental question. Who are they protecting?
Mm-hmm.
Why are they protecting these?
Khanna, I'm not going to lie, future voice of the Democratic Party in the sense where possible presidential candidate. He's only 49 years old. He's a rather young person in regards to Kamala's almost like 60s. Come on, let's be real. You know what I mean? This is like when Hillary ran. You know what I mean? I'm trying to be honest with you. We need some fresh blood. I think everybody kind of feels that way. And 50s is acceptable. 50s is good, guys. 50s is young. 50s is what's it called? If you haven't fallen into the critical decline, which is like 70s, 80s, you know what I mean? Where it's like you have 10, 20 years left, however much. You are still like fresh of mind, some people. He looks trim. He looks like he doesn't eat bad. He looks like he's doing all right. You know what I mean? I may not agree. I actually have to look into more of his politics because I just need to know more about him in general. But from what I've seen in the past, he endorsed Zohran Mamdani. He was heavily tied to that candidacy. Not the biggest fan of Zohran Mamdani, so that unfortunately taints it a bit in my eyes. But whatever, I can look past that, honestly. Because this is just a respectable act in general. And like a lot of things, with Marjorie Taylor Greene standing up with this Epstein Files Act, you might not like Jewish space laser shit, but you gotta respect her for standing up for women. You gotta give her dues. Otherwise, what else, guys? What else in this world besides blind hatred? Come on, guys. Let's do this.
These rich and powerful men, people I call part of the Epstein class. Why are we in a country where there is no elite accountability for people who do the most heinous things?
Heinous. I like his pronunciations.
In England, the king now calling for an investigation and possible prosecution of his own brother.
Well, that's not entirely accurate. He said he was ready to stand up with Andrew. He was ready to stand for Andrew. That's actually what he said. He didn't say anything about, well, I want my brother held to the highest degree of standard of the law. That's not anything that he said. It's not even close.
Norway, the princess who no longer has support to be the queen. And yet in the United States of America, we have someone in the cabinet, Howard Lutnick, who is all over these Epstein files, who allegedly had business with Epstein
Commerce Secretary.
after he was convicted of pedophilia.
Yep.
And he still is in the cabinet.
Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick should resign. I'm sorry. It's true.
We need to ask ourselves, are we in America going to have elite accountability? Are we going to call on rich and powerful people who broke the law or cavorted with a pedophile, a convicted pedophile? Are we going to call them to account? Are we going to have prosecutions
Probably not.
for billionaires who went to this island?
Probably not.
And either raped underage girls or saw underage girls being raped and didn't say anything? Are we going to have investigations?
Probably not.
I'll tell you what this is about. It's not just about the 1,200 survivors. It's about 2 tiers of justice in America. It's about people who can accumulate wealth and power and don't have to care about the rest of America. They have destroyed so much of this country. Income inequality is at a 6.
All right, we get it. Yes. Yeah, bad stuff. Totally agree with you. Attorney General Pam Bondi is reaching a breaking point as she is testifying. She's like, I'm sorry to the victims or whatever. It's like, okay, good try. One lawmaker put it, if they found 6 protected names in just 2 hours of digging, there's no telling what else is still hidden in millions of pages yet to be seen. I I would agree, folks. The Free Press is also compiling videos from the Epstein files. Here is a brief rundown of what they found. I know the Free Press, people hear it and they go, Jew, Barry Weiss. But listen, come on, guys. We got to listen to everybody. We have to, it's not a cancel culture. It's a community culture. It's a commune culture. It's a council culture. Council culture is the better way. I think that's how Dr. Phil worded it.
On January 30th, 2026, the Department of Justice released hundreds of gigabytes of material related to Jeffrey Epstein. Buried within the data dump were some 2,000 videos that had never been released. And while they're technically public, they are stored in a way that makes them very hard to find or browse. The public then has two choices: download hundreds of gigabytes of data, or click through hundreds of web pages one by one. I did both. The vast majority of the videos, and by far the most revealing ones, live in dataset 10. These are videos seized from Epstein's devices, footage he recorded himself, received from others, or downloaded from the internet. Some of these videos are difficult to watch. Epstein's world was a dark place, and many of the files contained unsettling or disturbing footage.
Like what?
We're going to show you some of these videos now.
I'll put this in
and
the
viewer
description.
discretion is advised.
And I'll
Most
describe
of
them
these
to
videos
you.
tell us little we didn't already know. But
Passport
taken
looks fake.
together, they paint the most vivid picture yet of
A nice
Epstein's dark world.
velvet
His
interior.
lavish lifestyle and worldview,
Ooh.
his mannerisms and quirks, his sense of humor,
Huh.
and sense of impunity.
Whoa.
The videos are heavily redacted to protect the privacy of Epstein.
I was giggling because he did this move where he licked his tongue and did the tss thing on himself, because I was like, ha, goofy. That was a funny moment. And then it immediately clipped to him dancing with a blacked out bar, and I went, ooh, yeah.
Victims.
This is like cringe comedy. You know what I mean? You ever watch Curb Your Enthusiasm, where it has you laughing for a second, and then you go, "Oh, I feel really." It's like what's it called? Do you remember that one episode where he puts the water bottle in the front of his pants for some fucking reason? I don't know why he ends up doing it. I think it was like something that someone else said to him. I have to rewatch that episode. But the girl comes in and gives him a hug, and then she runs out and then goes, "Mommy, the guy's in the girls' room, and he's got something hard in his pants." And then everybody, you can hear them all scream. It's just uncomfortable comedy. That's what Jeffrey Epstein's files are. It's uncomfortable comedy, because if you don't laugh at any of this, you will go insane. You're gonna lose your mind. You're gonna fall down rabbit holes. You're going to realize that, like, life really does have no meaning, ultimately. There's nothing out here for us. There's only evil that has taken over everything. And that's not a good way to look at life. That's not a good, healthy, because eventually, we might die in this age of darkness. We might die in the dark ages of knowledge and whatnot. You might be born in like the 60s, and you might be going like, shit, man, I don't know how much longer I'm going to even be here. So I might die before we find out everything. Some of us are going to die without all the knowledge, and that's okay. That's something that we just have to accept. Charlie Kirk did. He died without all the knowledge, and he stood by Trump till the day he died, unfortunately for him. Let's continue. Sorry, I like to go down whatever's, but it's true. In the words of my grandmother, my dear grandmother Ivarista, she always loved to say, "You have to laugh. You have to laugh," and I love to say that. It's my favorite. "You have to laugh" I think that might be the tagline for this show. You have to laugh, otherwise you will go crazy. You'll just go crazy. I love it. Let's get into it, folks.
In some clips, these redactions mask explicit content. In others, they lend an air of criminality to otherwise innocuous footage. We've published all 14 hours of this footage, excluding only obvious duplicates, audio-only files, and fully redacted videos that contain neither sound nor image. We're doing this because the public deserves to see what's in these files. Not hidden in a government database, but clear and easy to access. None of these videos reveal a new Epstein. They reveal the same one, over and over again, operating in plain sight, insulated by wealth, surrounded by enablers, and confident that the...
Yeah, okay, I saw a video of a massage, foot massage. There's a lot of black bars, so it's really hard to describe what he's doing in any of... Ooh, he's wearing the iconic quarter zip. Okay, guys, call me crazy. but I love the quarter zip. The one with the United States tag on the left arm and then the JEE. Like, that's ice. I'm sorry. If you have a quarter zip that has your first, middle, and last initials, that's king shit. And people are just mad about that. I'm sorry. I can admit that he was a monster, but I can also admit he had icy drip. And if you can't, you're not being honest. You got to be honest. That's part of the show. We have to be honest, guys. We got to be honest. That's otherwise your brain on air is your brain on lies.
The videos, like everything else, belong to him. You can watch the full videos of Dataset 10 at thefp.com.
All right, let me. I'll look into that and I'll report back to you folks what I find. Ugh.